As part of the brand new Skyrim anniversary content, there is a mission or questline called the Bittercup, which gives you 3 different options to either acquire a huge amount of wealth, a bunch of different armor pieces including a Gladiator helm, or a brand new follower that might give you the option to get an extra one. Here's all 3 options with timestamps. So head to Riverwood and the Dead Man's Drink Inn. Inside the room to the right hand side of the bar you will find a journal, and this is going to start the Bittercup quest. It will tell of a mysterious altar which is pretty close in some roadside ruins. You can run there directly from Riverwood, it's not that far. You'll find a bunch of dead bodies and bandits all around. And there will be some Spriggan guarding this place too. In the middle you'll find this mysterious altar which has the altar of power, the altar of wealth, or the altar of nothing. I'm going to list and show you all 3 different outcomes. Starting with the altar of wealth, which no surprise is going to give you a ton of gold as well as rare rubies, jewels and much more, and a bunch of weapons and armor pieces. Once you've activated it, go and sleep for a full day, and you're waiting pretty much for a wish to be granted. While you slept, someone slipped some poison in your backpack that you can go ahead and use, as well as a note to pretty much go and rob someone of their family heirloom. Head to Falkreath and that's where you're going to find the target. Now I kind of messed up here. I wasn't paying attention enough that I had the poison on me. I tried looking in my ingredients and seeing if any other people had the poison to buy, and I couldn't find the spiked poison. You're meant to put the spiked poison in a cook pot and then the target will go ahead and taste some, and that's when you can go ahead and steal stuff from him without any further trouble or bother. You are given the option to let him know that someone wants him dead so they can get their heirloom back, but he doesn't seem to give a monkeys unless you've got a very high persuasion score. Spoilers, I didn't have that persuasion score. Now he seems to be in this area quite a lot, but I couldn't actually find the cook pot anyway to go ahead and spike, so do let me know if it's in this place or maybe you have to follow him to another home. But you can see this is what we're after, the family seal. I tried placing some poison inside his inventory, but it didn't work, so in the end I just chopped his head off. Which surprisingly, his guard here didn't seem to mind too much. Grab the relevant stuff from his body, particularly the journal, and make sure you have a good old read. You also need the key to Eslaf's room, and now we can go and actually raid his vault. This will start the quest Crypt of the Heart. At the bottom, near where the water comes down, you should find the entrance to the crypts. And this is where you can go ahead and use that key that you just robbed off him. There's a bunch of little knickknacks and bits and bobs you can take in this vault. You'll also come across the person that has put that note inside your body when you was asleep. He's going to give you 1,000 gold, the Bittercup, which is a potion that basically increases whatever you've got the highest stat in. So if it's magicka or health or stamina, you'll get 20 extra points for consuming it. But there is a penalty. You'll also lose 20 points in whatever's the lowest. So if you've got low health but high stam, 20 points in stam, and then 20 points taken away from your health. I felt like one dastardly deed deserved another, and I took care of him and decided to loot all the area. And the good thing too, he had a bunch of items on him as well. You can go ahead and steal all this stuff without too much bother, no one's going to come after you. The gold particularly was a huge amount, 2,750 plus all of the jewels and everything else, and it's very profitable. If you need to do some upgrades with a lot of gold, I recommend doing this mission and taking the fortune route. Even with not that, you might even be able to get in here if you're a great pickpocket. I'll have to test that out in another video. But I'm kind of guessing that you might not be able to access this vault unless you actually pick up this mission. Go ahead and drink the Bittercup as I said, and yeah, and make sure you've got one of your attributes that you want to get a 20 high, or save it until later, until you rebalance maybe some of your skills and you've got whatever it is you want to go high or go low. Okay, next up is the power option, and I found this to be the worst, unless there was something I just didn't pick up correctly. There will be a bunch of weapons and armor sets that you can get from here, but I would say this is probably one of the worst options. Effectively, you're going to break out of your prison, go and get armoured up as there's a few bodies around or arm pieces. Also, there's an extra optional quest where you'll find some information from one of the pots inside one of these cells. And then step into the pit and take on all the bad guys. You've got a wolf here and a pretty badass orc who was pretty tough, and then you'll also be attacked by them saber-toothed tigers inside their cages. As I said, the big draw here is picking up all these different armor sets and weapons, which there is quite an abundance. Take care of the kitty cats and then you've got to face the third and final champion. I guess this is meant to be the reason that you'll come and do this, if you want the champion's helmet, which is a bit different and reminds me of a Roman hat. She's pretty tough. I wouldn't recommend doing what I did. Actually try and get around her a little bit more and do some damage. Eventually defeat her and you will get the Bittercup potion, as well as obviously the champion's helmet and a few other bits. It's got decent armor stats, the helmet, but it doesn't have any enchantments on it, so I guess that's one thing you could maybe go and do. Once you've defeated her, all the rest of the watchers are going to get a bit angry. I don't think there's a way up there to actually take them on, so you might as well just go ahead and leave. There'll be a switch on the left hand side, which is access another room and the chance to go and get some of your loot back. You should find it inside this cage, but you need to get the key from the actual prison guard. He'll be located inside a next room, the pit boss, and take out obviously his archers and bandits too. Once you've got your stuff, you can, that's it, suddenly leave and decide if you're going to drink the Bittercup potion now or, like I said, a bit later on. The third option is how you get the follower. It's the choose nothing. Return to Riverwood and a courier will deliver a note telling you to find a special ferryman near Dawnstar. If you go to Dawnstar Sanctuary, you'll find the fisherman pretty much right next door. He'll take you to Giant Tooth, and this is where there's a couple of big massive giants as well as some ice wraiths eventually, and we're going to go and investigate and see if we can get a special ingredient to hopefully take back to Whiterun, where one of the soothsayers needs to cure someone. But for now, you can either ignore the giants or take them out now, remembering they're pretty tough, or just ignore them completely and you might even be able to get out of here without killing anyone. Investigate the cave that's just on the left hand side up the little rise, and you'll find the fruit, the iron fruit, inside a tree. Take out the few spriggans that will spawn, and then make your escape back at the ferryman. As I said, it's pretty challenging. Obviously the giants, as always, are great, and the ice wraiths are no joke too. There's no real need to kill the giants. There's no loot. I couldn't find any secret chests or any kind of decent resources, so you might as well just ignore them. Maybe take out the wraiths and make your escape on the ferry. Now return to Whiterun and find yourself a cook station and make the ironwood soup. It needs charred skeever hide and some salt, but that should be relatively easy to find. I made mine here at Dawnstar before teleporting. Head to the temple of Kynareth, and one of the Alakites is working on someone that is going to heal your next follower. Again, you're going to have to wait a full day before you get that follower to actually be healed, and eventually Rulnick Windstrider will join you as a companion. Apparently, according to Discord, this does mean that you can have an extra follower, as he's not actually counted as a regular, but I didn't really test that thoroughly in this video. I chose the option that the healers were the ones that did most of the work, and that's it. He offers to give me a journal, which I didn't read, and he's going to offer to give me some help. You also get the chance to get Rulnick's dagger, which is kind of pretty, if maybe not that thrilling or exciting. But there we go, that is Bittercup explained, all three options, all three choices. Either go for a huge amount of wealth early on in the game if you choose this mission, well, that might be quite challenging, or go for all of the armor sets and the special gladiator helmet, or go for this third option and get an extra follower. If you found this useful, do go check out the rest of my Skyrim guides. I've done about 12 now, and I'll see you for even more. I'm going to go through every single piece of brand new content added as part of the anniversary edition. Until next time, rat bags, laters.